For the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players. Over 40 years of playing PlayStation and 10 plus years in this games meeting combined, I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, come check out our socials: Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and X. Can't give it to you. All those links are found in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/PopCulturists, where you can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation Pod. If you are listening on podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you watch us on YouTube, which I hope you do, we really need to get those average views up. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. And if you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopculturist, as well as our merchandise store, PopCulturists shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. But no, that's totally true. We do need to get our average YouTube views back up. For the first time ever, we've had something go because the views weren't where they were. That's a bum. But, you know, like our pod numbers are doing fantastic. It's just that damn YouTubes, because you can't like share your pod numbers with like PR and stuff because they can't verify it, but they can verify YouTube and socials. So please check out the YouTube. Hey man,
What's going on?
Not much.
Same old, same old.
Same old. You know, it's Sunday here as we record. It's SummerSlam weekend, so you know, me being the big wrestling dork that I am. So we watched SummerSlam today. It was actually not too bad. My personal favorite part was when Brock Lesnar blew the crotch of his pants out. So it's just weenus just hanging. It wasn't like his weenus. He had undies on underneath. But it was like just crotch everywhere. It was very funny for me. Roman Reigns story still going. And I don't know why. Like, yeah, it was a good show. It was an alright show. But it was cool. I had some friends over, not you, Max, because I know you hate wrestling, so I didn't ask you.
Fair.
Yeah, like normally you're like, where was my invite? Well, I would, but you'd be like, I don't fucking watch your wrestling, so I didn't invite you. But no, we did have something cool happen today, though. So my partner, Phoebe, who I've been with for like nearly a year at this point, she met my son for the first time today, which was awesome. They got along just fine. So she got him a little Five Nights at Freddy's toy, so he was instantly in. He was like, she's the best in the world. She got me a thing that I like. So that was a big win. So after SummerSlam, we then had a giant, like myself, her, my son, friend of the show, Craig, my housemate, Ange, my other friend, Ange. What, you all good?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear my kid in the background. I'll be back in a second.
All right, no worries. I'll show you. So we had a massive Nerf fight in my courtyard. We just like shot Nerfs at each other for like an hour. And then because my housemate is a big LARP fan, Soulcraft is the name of the thing he's into, whatever. So out come these giant like foam great swords and battle axes and an bow and arrow with like rubber tips that still fucking hurts. So that came out. It was absolute chaos afternoon in a good way. It was really nice. Everything went well. My son just really enjoyed hitting everyone with swords and shooting everyone. I got hit in the face numerous times. I got groined a couple of times. That was not very fun. By myself and my son. He poked me in the groin with a sword at one point. Excuse me. So that was fun. That was a very, very good day. And, you know, my son and my partner, they got along on very, very well, which was fantastic. Not that we were, like, scared that it wouldn't happen or, like, they wouldn't get along or anything, but it was just nice to have it happen, especially sort of with all my friends, which sort of made it seem super calm and relaxing, which was cool. Yeah. It's pretty chill. Other than that, I could talk more about SummerSlam. That's not very boring. That's quite boring. What else did I do? I bought a new shelf. I'm totally just killing time until Max gets back. Excuse me. That's right, I'm even killing time with just noises. That's why I'm all fucking scatterbrained. I'm just exhausted. I bought a new shelf this weekend for the studio. You can't see it, but it's off to my right. So I pulled out I had all these stack of boxes, right, on the side of the studio. And it was all my games and DVDs and just utter nonsense, right? So I got a new shelf, purposely built for DVDs. I've got it off Marketplace. Perfect. So it's covered in all my PS3 games, my PS2 games, and a bunch of my old DVDs. And then I also I have a fuckload of DVDs that I'm never going to watch. So I did a big DVD culling, which was fun. It was good to sort of see all my old PS3 games on display and my PS2 games. Like, not that I ever forgot that I had them. It's just like, oh yeah, that one. Oh, and that one. And that one. Which is rad. And because, as I said, I've still been on the hunt for the PS3 that plays PS2 games as well. So I'm like, oh, one day I'll get it, because I wouldn't mind, like, playing some of these games. Like, I look over there's, like, Manhunt and Manhunt 2, which is great. Obviously the old Need for Speeds. What else is on there? Silent Hills, your Metal Gear Solids. I know the Metal Gear Solid, like, HD collection, whatever, the Master Chief collection. Fuck, I'm having a hard stroke. Whatever the hell that one's called, the new one. Keen to check that out. But something about playing it back, on the old system. I'm really running out of shit to talk about. God damn it, Max, why'd you bugger off? Hey, chat, like, for everyone that's, watching live here on Twitch, to tell me something. Give me something I can riff on while Max is off doing that. Because when he comes back, we'll talk about what we've been playing this week. But yeah, what else is going on? I'm back up in Sydney again this week for work, which is Evo. So Mute in the chat asked about Evo, which is the fighting tournament. Couldn't care about it, even a little bit. Just not for me. Not a big fighting game guy. Like, I like them to play them and, like, just boost my friends, but I've never really understood esports in general as, like, a overall industry, which is interesting. It's not in like I can't watch people play games, but weirdly part of it's that, and I guess because a lot of the games that I play aren't multiplayer sport, like competitive games, so none of the games that I use as esports get me excited, to be honest. So that's a tough one for me. Yeah, just not an industry that I care about personally. TMNT, I would love to see that new TMNT movie. When I took my son to see Spider-Man Across the Universe, and there was a trailer for TMNT, and it looks sick. So we're very much going to see that, most definitely. MGB asks, especially since there's like a Metal Gear game that came with a skateboarding game, might have to track that down. Was it Metal Gear Solid 2? Like within it as like a demo disc, because I know that I think it was Zone of the Enders or something came with like a really bizarre game. I'm not sure about that one. Metal Gear Solid 2 I have a lot of love for. Mute asks, can PlayStation get a good Game Pass like Xbox? Yes, but it won't be the same. So Game Pass's biggest selling point, which I believe is its detriment from a fiscal standpoint, is day and date. So day one release is on Game Pass. Like, it is the biggest selling point for Game Pass. Like, oh, why buy games when you can just play it on Game Pass? That is its problem. And once they can circumvent, like, so PlayStation right now with PS Plus, like, they do have some games that drop day of release, but it's essentially built to be a back catalog platform, and I think that's actually the better way to do it, mostly because it actually doesn't devalue the games. So I truly believe that if you release a game on a service, it actually makes it feel less valuable. It makes it more disposable, and there's no clear, like, it staggeringly reduces how much money that game makes within its release window, because everybody knows, like, the first 2 weeks of a game's release is like the most integral time for the game. It's where they make their most money. I think the first month is probably if you want to widen that a little bit, right? It's the most important to a game's success. right? Like, look at Outriders as an example, right? Outriders is still technically yet to flip to get any profit. Why? And a lot of that is likely due to Game Pass, because the game sold pretty well on PlayStation. I believe it sold pretty well on PC, but I'm pretty sure it's also on PC Game Pass, right? So, like, it's a really tough place. If you use it from a back catalog standpoint, I think games, online service is brilliant, right? Do I think PlayStation's approach of using it as a back catalog game, a back catalog place, brilliant. Like, for someone that has, just getting into it, getting a console or whichever, exceptional, brilliant. It's fantastic. Are they doing a good job at it? No fucking way. Like, they're inconsistent. They're not releasing all the back-compatible games that are legitimately really good. Like, if you're paying the top dollar for premium or deluxe, whatever, depending on what your region is, you are not, like, actively paying. Like, it's not good. Like, when you get maybe one PlayStation Classic a month, and even then it's not the ones you want, or even ones that are popular or asked for, they're doing disservice. Like, Game Pass is brilliant. It is a legitimately brilliant platform. And even though I have issues with it from a business standpoint, and I do believe its long-term problems long-term is going to be a problem, for a consumer, it's fucking brilliant. Like, for my old job, where so for those that don't know, I help create a department that uses games as therapy. For us, it was like, financially, it was the best thing ever. Why buy all these brand new games? We can just buy Game Pass, right? So our entire department, in terms of the games that we used, was reliant on Game Pass to simply have games for our clients to play. So, look, it is a brilliant service. I have issues with it in a larger sense, more of a business sense. From a consumer standpoint, it's fucking fantastic. Let's see, MGB. Some games I do pick up physically thanks to Xbox Game Pass, discovering the title, but it does depend on the game. Like, if I wanted to pick it up, I'll pick it up when I can. That makes total sense. See, the other, this is the thing. Because I can approach this from most definitely a place of privilege, in that for the longest time, I've been very lucky that I can get review codes for whatever games that I'm interested in. So in that same argument, like, are games being devalued to me because of that? I would say in some ways, yes. The fact that I don't have to pay you $90 or whatever to buy a game at launch, yeah, most definitely. Like, games aren't disposable for me, because I still have to work to make them available, but it does change it a little bit. Like, the transaction of it is altered. So I get that. I understand the hypocrisy, sort of in me using that as a point, and then back ending it with, oh, well, I don't really play for my game, so yeah, it's a very, very, very tough one. Max, I can't, like, where is he? And I understand he's looking for his kid, but I can't. What's the word? What are the people they do in, like, US politicians when they just stand and talk? What is it called? Filibuster. I don't think I can filibuster for too much longer, but I'll see how I go. So MGB, our subscription's good, not really, but they are a good way to access stuff. Yes, most definitely. And because they are at the mercy of the license, they can pull it at any time. And then if it's, that's the whole problem with that digital future. I personally love the digital future because, physical is old for me. Very lucky, very privileged. I have good internet. So hence why pulling out all my old DVDs, I was like, wow, I own a lot of DVDs for some reason. But a lot of my things, many of them, you can't find on a service because no one would ever put them there. So that's always interesting. Mute asks, Suicide Squad by Rocksteady have lost all hope for the game. Opinion. I had a lot of hope for it originally. I genuinely love the Arkham series. Like I said, in terms of me being a giant nerd, I don't collect a lot of toys. But the one collection that I do have. Now, they are still at my ex-wife's house. I haven't packed them up yet just because she's got some stuff in the same cabinet, so it's a whole issue, and the cabinet's huge, so trying to ship that here is a prick. And the only toys that I've actively collected were the Arkham action figures, specifically Arkham Asylum, Arkham, and Arkham City. No. Yes, Arkham City. Arkham Knight, the figures weren't as good, but the Arkham City figures were fucking fantastic. So that's kind of the only ones I have. So in terms of Suicide Squad, I was really excited originally, but then second that we saw that it was in a similar vein, weirdly enough, to Gotham Knights, I instantly went, ooh, rough. Not as excited. I like the characters, I like the world, I like the fact they have to try kill Soups, but like, yeah, cool. Oh, you're back, thank fuck. Oh, I've been trying to filibuster this whole time, and it's been horrible.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. Just I was talking about how, like, you know, my partner met my son for the first time. We had a big Nerf fight, and then Ange put all his LARP weaponry out, so we had a big sword fight, and it spilled out to my front lawn, and all my neighbors were like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Hi." And then I talked about a bunch of Game Pass and why it's poo, and why PlayStation service is also poo, and like whether it's good, bad, the other. So that's enough for me. Max.
Yeah, we're still in the. How's that week been? It's been crazy. No, it's been alright. My kid was finally getting better. Apparently now she's just dying again. That's fun. But other than that, yeah, my week's been my week. It's been pretty chill.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Alright, let's get to the section we call What We've Been Playing, because we've got to get moving. We don't have a whole lot to talk about, but we've been here 20 minutes. Max, what have you been playing?
Some more Remnant 2.
Yeah.
I'm now on my third campaign playthrough. Still haven't beat the final boss. Keep just getting to the final boss and resetting. That boss fight is an absolute clusterfuck of epileptic fits.
Epileptic fits?
Yeah, lots of flashing, lots of teleporting, lots of on-screen stuff going nuts.
Excuse me.
But other than that, the game's still great. Every time I play through the campaign, I'm experiencing something new that I haven't seen before, which is awesome. Due to the procedurally generated nature of the game, obviously there's a few things that I've done a few times and just picked the different outcome. So one of the bosses is you can side with the boss or side against it. So I've now done both.
Which have you found as the more preferred option?
I mean,
as in, like, is there a noticeable difference by making the alternate choice?
Not really. It's purely just gives you a different reward for doing the quest, which will allow you to craft either a different weapon or a different mod point for a gun. Okay. So, which I don't use anyway. I've kind of found my two favorite weapons, and I kind of just don't switch from them ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then the other game I've been playing, I put about 10-ish hours into Baldur's Gate 3 since it launched on Friday morning for us.
Well, because it's a quiet week, we sneakily have made that the title of the episode, even though it's not on PlayStation yet. But
it's not on PlayStation yet, so it is coming to PlayStation. It's coming to PlayStation September 6th.
Is your kid being murdered?
No, she's very upset. She had a coughing fit, threw up a little bit, woke up, and she's complaining that she's got a sore stomach.
Okay.
So she wants to go to the doctors right now, but obviously there's no doctors open right now. So
because of last week where we go to the doctor now, it's like that precedent. Yeah, I get that.
Ali's trying to give her some medicine to help with the stomach pain. How's that? No, not taking anything. Can hear her screaming.
I have a lab coat if you want to drive over here. Like, hello.
Can hear.
Oh yeah,
but hear her screaming out that she wants me. So I might have to disappear again soon.
That's all right.
Yeah, so I've started playing Baldur's Gate 3. I'm playing with a friend, so this is very much your Dungeons and Dragons tabletop role-playing game in video game form. So you pick your class, you roll your character, you pick your stats, you roll your feats, your skills, your everything. So I am playing. So the fun thing that these guys do, they did it. Larian Studios did it back with Divinity 2. and they've brought it back here again, and they have what they refer to as origins. So origins are pre-made characters that will have their own predetermined backstory, their predetermined roles, stats, everything. So you can, if you want to play through their story, you can. You put in the chat if it comes to PS5, will it have fast load times? Apparently the answer is yes, and apparently it's got cross save. So if you pick it up now on PC, you can swap back to console at a later date.
How much is it on the PC?
I don't know. I bought it 3 years ago in early access, and I think I paid like $40 for it.
Brutal. It's probably like $100 now, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah. As an early adopter, I got upgraded to the digital deluxe edition for free, so that was nice. Apparently.
Well, it's cross save, but like it might not be cross purchase.
Yeah,
so like
I don't think
I don't think I'm going to buy it twice.
I doubt it's cross purchase. But I'm pretty sure it's cross save.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I saw it somewhere. So I'm playing one of the origins it's called the Dark One.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the only origin that is fully customizable. You can pick your race, you can pick your class, you can do all this. And essentially you start the game, you have no memory, you have no backstory, but you have these
excuse me,
violent urges and tendencies.
Yeah. Sexy.
So like one of the cutscenes, because I'm playing multiplayer, you can listen into your companions' conversations, or you can see their cutscenes if they're having a cutscene when you're not. And for this particular class, it privatizes some of your cutscenes so the other player can't see what's happening. And like one of the nights we went back to our camp to have a to rest, essentially. Went back to camp, and this person rocked up and they're like, "Hey, I saw what you did out there. I'd love to join your team. Can I hang around you guys?" And I'm like, "Yeah, hang around us. That'll be cool." And my teammate, because we were in Discord chatting, he's like, "Oh, I'm getting this really cool cutscene." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm having this really cool cutscene too." I straight up murdered this person, and he's just having this lovely dream over here. And he's like, the next morning when we wake up, there's literally blood splatters all over the ground. He's like, "What the hell happened? Hey, that new person's gone." I'm like, "Yeah, that's weird."
Yeah, that's super weird. Did you make the choice, or was it part of the cutscene?
No, so my choices were hide the body, clean up the mess, or just tell everyone that I straight up pretty sure I murdered this person.
What was okay, all right.
So I rolled my deception
no-win
check.
scenario. Okay.
Rolled my deception check, hid the body, succeeded.
Except for
so
all the
no
blood,
one knows
apparently.
No one knows that I did it. I just, as far as they're aware, I just woke up. There's blood everywhere.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm playing the long game.
This is very D&D. Yeah.
Playing the long game. Yes. So I'm playing I rolled a monk. The person I'm playing with wanted to be a spellcaster, so I'm like, we need to have someone tanky. My original plan was I was going to be a skill monkey bard, the jack of all trades, master of none. And I'm like, no, we need someone a bit beefy. So playing a monk. You do get to play with like NPC allies. So we've also got a rogue and a cleric in our party that kind of ties us all together nicely. We've got a ranged, got a healer, got a tank, got a spellcaster. Yeah. So, and the amount of stuff that you can do with this game is just crazy. So
man, you sent me a clip of like this goblin, like just deep dicking this giant troll. What a game!
Yeah.
What a game!
So, like, we got into a combat scenario last night. I literally pulled a lever, opened a gate, and this fucking gigantic minotaur is just running at me. And because it's turn-based combat, like D&D, I'm like, I'll think about this. And then I'm like, oh, I just like absolutely straight up put like tons of like gunpowder barrels in my backpack, and I just started pulling them out. And I was just throwing these barrels, like rolling them down the hill at the minotaur, and I'm like, just shoot it. And the fucking minotaur just lit up. Killed it in one hit. It was great. It's like, yeah. And the things you can do to like outsmart the puzzles,
yeah,
and the traps in this game. Like, I saw a clip of Matt Mercer playing with one of the developers for the game, and they needed to break into a castle. He's like, I know how to do this, and he just fucking stacked boxes
Oh,
up,
I saw that
and
clip. Yeah.
then just like shot an arrow across and transposed himself to where the arrow landed. He's like, I'm in. Who needs keys?
Yeah. See, the thing that I know about this, and this is why I'm glad I'm not playing with you, by the way, because I know how you play D&D. Like, you and I have never played D&D together, but I know how you play, and you're a prick. Like, you're those game breaking assholes, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
like, I guarantee that playing alongside Baldur's Gate 3 with you, I would want to murder you.
Which is why I wanted to play a bard. I want to be that skill monkey. I want to be able to talk my way out of every situation and just be like, at the end of the day, everything is up to a dice roll, and if I have bonuses to every single dice roll, I'm a happy man.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been great. I'm looking forward to diving into it deeper. Obviously, like I said, I did buy this in early access, so I have technically been playing this for the better part of 3 years now.
How are you finding it from 3 years ago to now?
A lot's changed.
A lot better. Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot better. A lot's changed too. So back in the early days, some of the cutscenes is just like non-existent because that pop up with a message saying this cutscene will be added at the end in the final version of the game. A lot of the layouts of areas have been changed completely. Obviously, new classes have been added, new races have been added throughout. So Monk literally launched on day of launch. So it's all fresh at the moment, so it's been really fun.
So were you playing a bard in those previous runs?
I was playing a bard in the previous runs. You asked no bad bugs. The only bug I've run into is after about 4 hours in game, my frame rate just went to shit.
Yeah.
Apparently it's a really easy fix. So the default setting for the game is to run in borderless windowed. Apparently, if you just make it proper full screen, it fixes that issue.
Oh, so you go into the back end inside of tower. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So look, I guess like we've cheekily made the title in advance was the idea. So Baldur's Gate 3, a AAA game that is actually good at launch. Is this true?
Yeah. I'm having a blast with it. It hasn't. I know it has some issues on the Steam Deck. Apparently, it does have the green tick for the Steam Deck, but apparently there are some issues. I believe there's a set of a few hot fixes coming next week with some minor issues. I haven't run into anything like full-on game breaking. Just the slight FPS hitch here and there when going into busy spots. They cheekily put out a post of like, we made a AAA game at launch. There's no DLC. There was no pre-order. It was an interesting touch to be like there was no edition that allowed you to play it early. I'm like, well, there kind of was because you could buy it in early access, but it wasn't like
but like
it wasn't like
you didn't pay extra because of it though. You paid less.
Yeah, there wasn't like pay $110 now and you can actually play it before the official launch.
Yeah. So
I think most of the people I know who have run into bugs were the people that didn't follow the instructions of delete all your saves, uninstall the game entirely, and then reinstall it once the game's launched.
Yeah.
So there was no preload available for the game because obviously early access still existed. So they're like, you need to delete everything that has anything to do with the early access because it will fuck shit up most likely.
Yeah, there'll be some sort of caching somewhere that would probably cause an issue.
Yeah.
Is it a Betson game?
I mean, you enjoy D&D to a degree.
Yeah, but see, I enjoy non-fantasy role-playing. So, like, in terms of tabletop, like, fantasy I find kind of done. There's very little that gets me excited in tabletop role-playing that is, like, fantasy-based. If you're like, here's a space western, I'm like, fuck yeah, give me that. Here's one that's set in, like, a high school. I'm like, even though I hate that genre for, like, anime and shit, I'm like, yeah, I'll play that in fucking TRPG, why not?
I mean, this is definitely a fantasy TTRPG.
Is it, like, high fantasy, like The Witcher, or, like...
So, your overarching quest is you need to get a parasite out of your brain to stop you from turning into an illithid.
Is that a bad thing?
A mind flayer.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to talk. You don't want to turn into an alien.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
Well, now that we know they're true this week, aliens are real, and we have UFOs and shit. It's probably a good idea to not turn into one.
Yeah. So, but there's a. It's one of those things of like.
Mute in the chat says, "Wow, high school over fantasy." Look, a very specific one. So one of the TRPGs that I've enjoyed the most, it was a Savage Worlds rule set called East Texas University. It's Buffy the Slayer meets Scooby Doo in a college, in university, right? So even though you've got to go do all these
So Buffy.
Yeah. But so it's great. It's like Buffy. So you go hunt supernatural shit at night, but you still have to go to classes and do whatever.
Still good. Still gonna get them A's.
Yeah, which is actually really fun, and it gives you the opportunity to sort of play different. I went to university and I was a giant dork the whole time because I'm a giant dork. But it's a great way to sort of play different ways. Maybe let's see what university was like as a jock. Let's see what it was like as someone that wasn't me. It's a cool little idea. That college and high school, yeah. I guess I probably should have specified, but yeah, high school from like a persona, yeah, not so much.
So I guess it would depend on if you play solo versus in a group.
I'd probably play solo.
I know one of the things that the community is kind of a little bit miffed about is if you ever have a friend come and join your party, it brings their character in and then you can never ever get rid of them out of your party. You could only put party members in your campsite if they're the NPC characters.
Okay.
So if you have a friend randomly join you for a gameplay session and never ever come back, you're stuck with their character forever, apparently.
So say if you have a party of 4, you'll always have a third.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. So the max party size is 4 for 4 player characters. But yeah, apparently if you have someone just randomly join your team, they're stuck there forever. You can't send them back to camp and bring out one of the origin characters.
That sucks.
Recruited along the way. So I wonder if that was intentional or if that will change. But again, I'm playing in a group of 2, and we're playing the. If you get into the dialogue, it is entirely your choice as to what you do. We don't have to discuss options. We don't have to be like, I think you should do this.
Well, seeing as you have I love how you made that rule because no one can say what the fuck you say.
I mean, it was something that we both agreed on. It was how we played Divinity and Divinity 2 together. It's your dialogue. Your character's the one having the dialogue.
Yep.
You
play
are
to your
in control
character.
for that. You play to your character. So yeah.
Okay.
That's it for me. That's all I've really been playing.
Nice. And we play some games we can't talk about just yet, but we'll get back to them at a later date. I myself have really, I think I talked about this last week, I have been in a bit of a funk, right? I'm not finding games that just catch me, right? I find many things that have catch me, by the way, just in general. So this weekend specifically, my son and I played more Five Nights at Freddy's. So they released a DLC last week called Ruin. It's to expand on Security Breach. So he and I finished that over the weekend. He was very, very happy because there's just new versions of some of the animatronics. It's a little bit different. So that was fun. More Five Nights at Freddy's. I've got back and played some more Dead Island 2. Because I kind of wanted to play something, because I knew that there's part of me wants to play games, but I can't find the one that hits me. Dead Island 2, because it has been a game that was in development for 9 years, right? It's got a lot of really old sensibilities in it. And we've talked about this when we reviewed it way back in the day, when it came out. So a lot of that is location based, churn, repeat. Very simple, and it kind of spoke to the right part of my brain. So I'm just going around just fucking walloping shit, shooting, stabbing, bonking heads off zombies, and then going and do missions that I give no fucks about the story. I'm just gonna go here, go collect this thing. I'm like, all right, stab, wallop, bump, shoot, cool, crap it, okay, take it back, right? And that's fun. So because with that in mind, I also re-downloaded Far Cry 5 because they now have PS5 support, quote unquote. I loved Far Cry 5. I thought Joseph Seed was an incredible villain. Now I'd mind playing that again at 60 frames. That'd be sick. I also downloaded Valhalla as well, because like that, you sort of that repetitive nature of the game. Go there, do this, build your stats, blah 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 blah. Blah. Like seemed mindless enough that it might be the thing that gets me into going. Haven't played either of them yet, but you know, like that was kind of the concept that I had. So yeah, Dead Island 2's great. I'm like this close to the end at this point. What's the last thing I did? Go to the CDC to get my blood tested or something. I'm like 6 missions off the end of the game, not even. That was the last time we checked. So like I'm really super close, which is cool. But I keep getting distracted by side stuff. Like, oh, while I'm here, I'll go do this mission that I found, or I'll go over here. Like, hey, what's in this building? I stab my way through it. Find some collectibles that mean nothing. The other thing that I've been playing as well is with Moving Out 2 coming out in a couple weeks, I went back to Moving Out 1 because in the same vein, like last time I was in my gaming funk, because it happens, I was playing Tools Up, and Tools Up got me out of the funk. So Tools Up was a game all about like interior decorating, but like think Overcooked. So you have a time limit, you gotta do all the shit in the room and get it done in the time limit. Simple. Moving Out's the same, but in the alternate direction. Get all the shit out of this house into the moving truck in a time limit. Like, mental. This sounds right up there. This might be what's going to get me out of the funk. And it's helping. And it has me really excited for Moving Out 2. But yeah, I'm just going to churn through this for a little while until 2 becomes available and see what happens. And it's good. You know, it's good to sort of like, I really enjoyed it when I played it originally back in the day. And then I've kind of realized I hit a point. And I'm like, oh, I never got past this point. And now I'm past that point. And I'm like, rad. So like back in the day, a good friend of the show, Paul James from Player 2, he and I actually went to SMG Studios here in Melbourne, and we got to play test Moving Out 1. So I got to see a good scope of the levels. Then some of them were the really simple house ones, but then there was the one where you've just got to like throw packages off a plane into a truck, and the truck keeps moving. And then one of the things is a fucking giraffe corpse, so it's like the neck's all springy, but the body's just dead fucking weight. So it was really good fun. So yeah, like super keen. When they announced 2, I was like, holy shit, fuck yes. So yeah, super keen. But Moving Out 1, still brilliant. Moving Out 2, not far away. Sometimes. I think that might be it, Max.
Cool. Meat and potatoes time?
Yeah, let's get into a section we call Inform the Players. We tell you about what happened this week in PlayStation.
The answer overall is not much.
No, it's pretty quiet.
But
hence the filibustering.
There was a announcement for some new beta firmware, which means if it's going to have a beta, there's going to be a pretty substantial change up. It won't just improve the the system's capabilities. So a new PS5 firmware update will enter the beta testing phase for qualifying users later. Was the last week, I think Thursday they announced it. So if you're a beta tester, you have access to it right now. Bringing many more features to the current gen console. If you have been selected to participate, I can't speak, you'll have received an email on how to get it going. So I dropped out of the PS5 beta firmware update.
You didn't want it to like
PS4.
crap your shit up.
Didn't want to crap my shit up because it was really hard to get PS5s at the time. It still is to a degree, but not as hard. So the plan is to bring the PlayStation 5 firmware update to all console owners later this year, with the headline addition being the ability to extend your M.2 SSD storage even further. Following the update, the 4 terabyte storage limit is being doubled to 8 terabytes.
That sounds great on paper till you realize an 8 terabyte M.2 at the speed they need is $1,500. Ha! I paid like $300 for my 2 terabyte one. I was like, oh, that's like a bonus. That's not so bad. Jesus Christ.
In addition, a new accessibility feature allows you to assign a second PS5 controller to a single account. Quote, this feature introduces a new way for you to enjoy games collaboratively with others or help a friend or child navigate a particularly challenging section of the game. End quote. The PlayStation blog explains. This finally bringing in the thing that Microsoft's had for the last couple of years.
Yep.
The assist mode.
Yeah.
Also, the PS5 controller's haptic feedback can be utilized at a system level with vibrations linked to receiving notifications, booting up a game, reaching the end of a scrollable list, Quote, this optional feature enhances immersion and is particularly useful for players with some level of sight or hearing disability who appreciate the additional feedback on their inputs, end quote.
It's a little weird that wasn't already there. Like, seeing as the haptic, the feedback, the rumble-roo of the controller is like, it was the biggest marketing fucking thing. Ow, as I punch my desk. Oh, haptic feedback. Of the fucking console. Like, why was these in-menu things not there?
So at a glance, the new PlayStation 5 firmware update includes the support for larger capacity SSDs, use of a second controller for assistance, the system UI haptic feedback, support for compatible Dolby Atmos enabled audio devices, so all you fools out there with soundbars.
This guy. So I have a Dolby Atmos system in my house, and it's fucking fantastic. And that small window of time that I had an Xbox, Jesus, I stole it from my old work and then I gave it back when I resigned, / got made redundant. It was awesome, right? So I am shitting myself excited for this because like Atmos, front, side, behind, up, over, it's incredible. Like watching a movie, like, just anything that's like, Star Wars, like pew, pew, these things go, you can feel like when that Star Destroyer comes over the top of you, like you can feel it, like it's insane. So give me that in the games. Hells yes, all the time. Why the fuck wasn't this here already? Once again, something that like Xbox had. Atmos is pretty common now. Glad it's coming.
Party user interface update.
I don't use Party a lot. You do. Like, are you wanting a Party UI update?
Yeah, it kind of needs it. You'll be able to join friends' game sessions more easily. Game Hub tournaments will have its own tile on the screen. You can react to messages with emojis now, so you can just like give them the quick thumbs up reply instead of typing out shit. You can search for your games in your library now.
I have like 400 and something games in my history, my library, and as we continue into the PS5 generation and with the backwards compatibility, much needed feature.
Improvements to the game help, new discover features, and the biggest update of all, you can finally mute the beep sound of the PS5 when you turn it on.
Which is great. Like, it hasn't been an issue for me living by myself. But like, I'm one of the big memes on the internet is you wake up and you're like, yeah, beep, and then the missus hears it and they're like, oh, and you're like, oh, fuck.
Literally did that earlier today. Turned the PlayStation on. Ellie's like, what you doing? Nothing. Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, look, obviously for me, the big ones are the Atmos support. I like the rumble roos. That's pretty sweet. I have no intentions of buying a bigger SSD. But yeah, for me, it's all Atmos. But what about you? The beeps? Is it the beep? It's mostly the beep, isn't it?
The beep and controller support's good.
Yeah.
Being able to like chauffeur.
Yeah. Well, like for me, my son just gives me the controller. Like we're playing Five Nights, he's like, this is hard, here you go. I'm like, yeah, no worries.
Well, see, my kid likes the idea of playing Rocket League, but she's 3. It sucks.
Oh, so you play, like, rather than giving her a controller not plugged in. That makes sense. All right. Because this is a conversation that we'll be having forever, it appears. Apparently, Max, the ABK deal is back on. It has been thankfully quiet on the Microsoft front the last 2 weeks as it was seeking to overcome the final hurdle of its $69 billion buyout of Activision Blizzard King. The UK's regulator, the Competition and Markets Authority, were the one putting a bit of a hurdle on it. At last we heard the duo had postponed plans for a hearing while it attempted to hammer out some sort of deal. This follows on the regulator's decision to block the acquisition on the basis of the emerging cloud gaming market, which isn't as emerging or important as everyone thinks it is. Since then, the European Commission has given it the green light, and the FTC had lost in court, leaving the buyout on the precipice. Sony, perhaps sensing the direction the wind was blowing, has since signed a decade-long deal to keep Call of Duty on its platforms. Even though the CMA never blocked the deal on the basis of the consoles, Microsoft has pointed to Sony's signature as a reason it should now allow the deal to pass. In a document submitted to the department, it said that the buyout, quote, ensures that perhaps the most powerful player in the video games industry will have access in the long term to the Activision games it considers most important, end quote. The Redmond firm also noted a deal it signed with cloud gaming company Enware, which was inked days after the CMA's decision. For these reasons, it's urged the division to reconsider its conclusions. Microsoft now has until the 18th of October to close the acquisition after extending its deadline with ABK earlier in the month. Clearly, it still has hurdles to work through with the UK's regulator, but it looks like it's only a matter of time before the deal closes. All my points and opinions have been very heavily said about this. There is nothing new that I would contribute to today.
Yeah, I literally have nothing new to add to it.
No.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen in closer to October now than already have happened.
Like the only thing that I'd add is the entire grounds being around the cloud market as literally happened in the FTC things. They're like, yeah, the cloud's not as exciting as we thought it was, eh? That's pretty much what they said. Like, hey, it's not as successful as we thought. It's probably not going to be. The infrastructure isn't really there. So, those grounds are less exciting.
And let's face it, most gamers who actually play games don't want to play fucking cloud-based games.
No, because latency is arse. Last night, in bed, my son was asleep. Because he sleeps with me when he comes here because he doesn't see me that often. He likes to be near me. I tried to remote play using my backbone to the console that is literally 2 meters from me. It was shit. And that was using local network, it pinging itself rather than through a network, and it was still bad. So even the Q Lite when it comes, I'm like, it better have some fucking fancy pants, specific talking network where it doesn't have that. Otherwise, what a waste of a device.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh shit! Fucking WrestleQuest, is that out this week, or is it already out?
I think it might be already out. It came out last week, didn't it?
That's what I thought it did.
It was one of only 2 games that came out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I just remembered, I went, oh fuck, why have I not played more WrestleQuest?
Quick bits. As we mentioned earlier, our PS5 giveaway from influencer Kai Kennett, or Sennett, I have no idea how to pronounce his name, breaks New York as over 2,000 people.
It's not available until the 8th for us.
Lame. For free PS5 consoles. Call of Duty have taken to Twitter to mock some people about the leaks and says, get ready to see our artwork next week during the reveal. So expect a Modern Warfare 3 official reveal sometime later this week, early next week. And since joining PlayStation Plus, Dreams has acquired 100,000 new Dreamers.
Okay, well, that itself is pretty interesting because we talked about Dreams obviously being free now on PlayStation Plus. Cool. Hopefully that's picking up some sort of traction.
Live service support ends for it in a month.
Yeah, cool. So hey, enjoy it, and then and the numbers go away again. I don't see it sort of being this big reversal. And I was like, oh shit, we'll keep him online now. 100,000 is not enough. It is not enough. So Modern Warfare 3, knew it was coming. Cool. Yeah, this Kai dude, that's fascinating. I've learned about it. I think we'll talk about it at the start of the show or before the show. Crazy. In the chat says, I bet Betson will play Goodbye Volcano High on 29th because high school. No, I will not. Because a couple of reasons. I don't like furry culture. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And
hey, aren't they all dinosaurs? Dinosaurs are furry. How dare you?
Well, bullshit. It's fucking anthropomorphic dinosaurs, right? That is the whole premise of fucking furry culture. Not for me. Look, you do you. Those that do that, I'm not judging you. I'm judging your whole culture. I don't get it, right? I understand there are people that resonate more with animals than they do people. I don't know who hurt you, and I'm sorry. But it's bizarre. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't do it. And yeah, no, there's no chance I'm playing. No chance. I have no interest. I shat on that game the second that I saw it. I've shat on it consistently since. I'm going to shit on it when it releases.
Sounds like Bug Snacks.
Yeah, but Bug Snacks actually turned out to be really good. And I guarantee you that Goodbye Volcano High is not that.
Buddy will play it for you, and then Buddy will tell you how good or bad it is.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
It seems like a very Buddy game.
Volcano High, are you serious?
Buddy likes all those indie style games.
Yeah, no, he likes you're moving out and you're camping, you know, and he does have interesting
I'm not trying to put Buddy on blast here, but
we love you, Buddy.
He's a lot more open-minded than what you are.
Fine, you'll like bugs over dinosaurs. Yeah, if it was like Goodbye Bug High, I'd probably still hate it. But I like, you know. So so let's specify. So the reason I disliked Bug Snacks is because I felt it was a game that was being overly cutesy, but like having no substance. And like that frustrated me. And then the whole gimmicky song, and everyone was like jerking the game's dick. And I felt at the time, because very little about her had been revealed or shown or previewed. All it had was this song. And I'm like, this is obnoxious and I hate it. And then I played it and I realized the game is deeper and darker than I had most definitely anticipated, and actually really funny. Big win. So the reasons I dislike it do not align with the reasons that I dislike Volcano High, which then also does not align with the reasons that I dislike anime or anime games. See, like, it's one of those things where like I'm like, well, I don't like this, and I can tell you exactly why I don't like it. And the people are like, I didn't like it. Why don't you like it? We just don't like it. No, I can give you the exact reasons of why I don't like something.
It's because you hate fun.
No, that's probably true. I'm a bit of a cynical, like, grumpy arsehole. Upcoming titles: Tower of Fantasy. I get that. I bet that game blows. PS5, PS4, August 8th. Legend Bowl. PS5, PS4, August 9th. Atlas Fallen coming to PS5, August 10th. I know that was the game that you were all boned up for.
Yeah. I saw it, and it gave me like. How did I describe it the first time? Like
Outriders, Darksiders, Destiny was the three you gave.
Yeah. Like that sounds cool.
See, I gave no shits.
I think in like all the promo videos, there's a dude skating on sand. I'm like,
see, this is the thing. So you went,
oh, it's got sick traversal.
You went, I want to play Atlas Fallen. I said, that sounds like a fucking anime game. You can get fucked. And then you went, watch the trailer, and I did, and I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool. And then as I'm watching it while you're talking to me, and you're like, it's very Outriders, I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm in. And then like, yeah, skating down dunes and stuff, I was like, oh, fuck yes. But not Dune as in Dune, but I just said Dune too many times. Yeah, that's it.
It completely, like, because I think it was shown at a showcase earlier this year or late last year, and then it completely fell off my radar, and then I'm like, it comes out next week.
Yeah, like, it wasn't until like PlayStation Australia was like, here's all the games coming out this month, and I was like, hey, I saw the picture, I went, that's the game that Max was excited for, and it doesn't look weeby.
I'm like, is it coming out already?
Yeah.
I thought it was like a next year game, but apparently I'm crazy, so.
Yeah. Checks out.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so thank you everyone for joining us. Even, like, once again, we didn't have a whole lot to talk about, yet we somehow made a near hour show. I guess my 20-minute filibuster did do wonders. But we'll wrap up the show because Max is you still in?
Yeah, I can still hear Hadley getting.
All right, well, let's get this fucking done.
I'll wrap this up and go see to her. All right, everybody. This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. Please watch on YouTube.
Please watch on YouTube.
Yeah, if you have, what is it, YouTube Plus Premium?
Yeah, listen to it like a podcast.
Listen to it as a podcast. Just turn the screens off.
Yeah, or just play it, mute the tab, let it go.
Yes, that happens at 9 a.m. on Mondays. But if you'd like to join us in future conversations, come and check out our socials: Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and X, Twitter X.
It's Twitter. Fuck X. It's Twitter.
Yeah.
Why you have like a fucking decade of incredible brand recognition and you change it? Get the fuck out of here. It's like, oh, it's not cling film. It's Glad Wrap. It's not a cooler. It's an esky. Like, what are you doing, you moron? If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/PopCulturists where you can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation Pod. If you are listening on podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating if you are written review. If you're watching us on YouTube, which I please hope you are, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/PopCulturists, as well as our merchandise store, PopCulturists shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was for the players.
It was funny when you brought up Eskies, because I totally prefer the Kiwi vernacular for Esky.
What is it?
The chili bin.
Oh, that's so much better. All right, well, that's changed.
The chili bin.
I retract my Esky statement, and I'm now going to get a drink from my chili bin. That's fucking way better. That's so much better.